This is Meri at the Meri Atelier, and this is part 3 of the Valentine Zine collab that we're going to have. And it's hosted by Raul and Susan. So welcome to my desk. I am doing 4 15-minute slots. So this is my third one. We'll have one more after this. I want to show you that I did finish my rectangle zines. I put a little decorative elements on them. I'm really happy with how they turned out. This was the sticker one, and this was the one that I stitched around. So it came out really nice. I'm very happy with them. So what I want to show you is the little heart that I made in a square, and I did print out. It didn't come out exact, but I did print it out flat before I stitched the ribbon on. And the reason that I stitched the ribbon on is that it does tend to alligator out. So I'll show it to you really quick here. I put a little silk ribbon on there. So I spent a lot of time doing the seed stitch here. And the fabric I used was this fabric, which is Valentine fabric, and this. And I cut little hearts out of it. So this will stay in my stash. I'm not going to take time to tie this back up. I did print it off and I cut it out. I'm fairly happy with it. It doesn't alligator out as much, and I'm sure once I have it sitting under some heavy books, but my printer settings just a little bit off here. But what I really wanted to show you in tonight's video was how I did this. And I want to talk about a square template and connectors. I want to show you here what will happen if you do not have connectors. I folded a little, really on the fly here, a little square zine, and I drew a semblance of a heart on here. But if you say, oh, I'm just going to go and cut this. Now we'll leave the connectors on the side, but I'm not going to have connectors on the top. I'm just going to cut out a Valentine, and we'll leave them on the side, but I want to show you what happens. And this will happen with any type of a shape that you do. The Valentine is sort of a simple shape. It does have connectors on the bottom, so let's get rid of those. Maybe make it a little bit more centered here. And I know you can guess what's going to happen. Now you think, wow, I've got a nice zine. Well, look what happens. It comes in 2 parts here. And if I didn't have those side connectors, those would I'd have 8 little hearts. So it's very important to get connectors in there. And the other thing I wanted to show you was, let me get these scraps off my desk, or as much off my desk as I can. The other thing I want to show you is how to get a square zine, how to make one. Now the ones that we do out of 8.5 by 11 are rectangular. So you all know that when you have a rectangular piece, if you want a square, you just fold it up like this. That's nothing new. And then you cut it. And I'm just going to cut along the edge here. I'm not too concerned that everything's nice and pretty. You cut it so you have a square. But the reason you want a square, you fold this in half. Your rectangle, your square needs to be, the length needs to be twice the length of the width to achieve a little square zine. And that's what I did when I have this sheet. I made a square and then I just cut it in half. I don't need the entire square. So let's work with this. And barring, I'm not going to be perfect here because I do want to get this video done in 15 minutes, or as close to 15 minutes as I can. So you fold it, the hot dog fold, because it's a vertical, and then you fold it horizontally to get the hamburger fold. That's nothing new either. You just get practice of doing a zine. Am I in frame? Yes. And then you fold the sides in this way. And this way. And then you do your center cut the same as you would for a rectangular one. Just do the center cut here. And then when you make your zine, you pull the two center ones up and down. You pull the two center tabs up, and then you fold them to the sides, and then you close the book. And didn't too bad on this. But now I want to show the importance of connectors. And I'm going to make connector points here on the top. Right there, and on the sides. I do not need connectors on the bottom. But I'm going to mark the bottom so I know when I draw my heart. I'm just going to kind of freehand the heart in here. But these are connectors here. And that means I do not cut between those lines. And then I didn't do that other. We did one, but not this one. So this is a connector point in here. I do not need a connector there. So I'm just going to bring my heart down. And I'm just freestyling this. On my other one, I had a template, but I left it out in the other room. Now let's cut it, leaving the connectors. And I'm just going to cut up this way. Kind of try to make it curved in here if you can, so it has a nice round top. If possible. But see, I did not cut between these 2 points. And I'm going to kind of curve this down like this. And then we're not going to cut here and we're not going to cut there. But we are going to bring this heart to a point. We're not going to put a connector on the bottom. It doesn't need it on the bottom. So any shape that you do, you're going to have some sort of a top connector and side connectors. Now, these will change depending on what you're doing. Like for my lovebirds, I just had one connector up here, and I had a connector over there. I think I had a connector on the side too. I'm pretty sure I had 2 connectors, but I only had 1 connector up here because I drew a little bird in there. So let's open it up and look at it. Scrappy's on my desk like this, annoying me when I'm working. Okay, let's open it up and look at it. And see, you'll have, these points will be open here. You need those points open to pull up and to the side like that. But these points, because they're connected, and the 2 sides over here are connected, and the third one in the middle is connected. But here's my little heart zine. Now you can do all sorts of shapes. I chose the heart. It's a fairly simple shape. The birds were a little bit harder. That's coming in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. I also wanted to show you on this zine. You know, the zine, that's the correct way that we do it when we open it up like this. This is the correct way to make a zine. But for some reason or another on these, well, I imagine you could on the rectangle too. You could do an accordion fold, just fold it in half, do an accordion fold, and you still get a little booklet, but you don't open it up the same way. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little demonstration. Practice doing some connectors. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Let me hold it up and show it to you one more time. I spent a lot of time doing this stitching. That's the seed stitch. And then I just took little whip stitches. I actually stitched these little hearts on the fabric. This one, I just did, you can't see it, but I did little running stitches around the side, and then I did my whip stitches. This one, I did the pink running stitches and the X in the middle. And I'm letting the print on the fabric be my words. Love, that was another, I did double running stitches there. These were the, I think they call that a fly stitch, if I remember right. Looks like a Y. And I did them seed stitch style where they point different directions. And this one, I just did little cross stitches, fill in everything except for the word heart. This one I made a grid. I love my grids. Back stitched a grid. And then the last one over here, I did the sashiko style, just running stitches, and I left the XOs. So I am really happy with how that turned out. I'm happy with all of these. I'm going to work on my lovebird ones in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in part 4. I hope that you're enjoying the collaboration. Bye for now.